What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of DevTalks. We talk about everything that's engineering and technology wise, which you have host Travian. No guest today, just want to go through some stuff. Some news has been going on. We're going to talk a little bit about Netflix. If we have time, we might add into it and talk about more stuff. I'm really still trying to figure out what's better, short or long term stuff. I might start doing a bunch more short term, short end content for these podcasts until reach a certain point and like break stuff up more. So we'll see. Let me know how you guys really like those type of episodes, and then we'll go from there. But yeah, sit down, relax. Don't forget to subscribe, share, like, comment, and let me know how you guys feel about the podcast. Don't forget to drop your hot takes too. Every hot take that you have to do about engineering or the tech world, drop them. We'll go over them. You get a shout out. So let's dive right into it. All right, so recently recently I've heard a lot about Netflix. Netflix has been going on so much stuff recently, and I think they're about to make a mistake, but we'll see how it goes. I'm going to get into it a little bit later. But first off, I'm going to go on a little rant. So recently, as everybody knows, Netflix stopped doing the password sharing stuff, and one, it's a smart way, like for them to obviously make more money. Like it worked. A lot of people started signing up for accounts. A lot of people got kicked off of other people's accounts and things like that. So like, and they were able to get a lot of signups and stuff. Now, I've stopped using Netflix less since then and things like that, but it's just something that they came out and just started to do um to really get an edge around the whole economy, get some more money. And they always raising their subscription prices, and it's hard to say they have so much good content on there because they they have a few good shows like Stranger Things, very big show on there. They have some movies that are good every now and then. They do have potential things to go on there, but a lot of stuff that is also popular on Netflix are just freaking reruns or old movies and things like that. That's what Netflix mainly is. I don't think it's really at the best value that it could be at, but who knows? Like maybe it will get better. I know right now it's hard with movies in general because the whole Hollywood strike stuff, but it's it's not really too favorable. That whole Netflix scandal stuff, like them doing that, it tight felt like I was getting scammed. Okay, making a new thing, and one thing that really worries me in this aspect is if what if all of our streaming platforms did this? Like you couldn't share passwords no more for the streaming services so they can all gain more customers or whatever. I feel like if every streaming platform did this, their numbers and people, how much people watch these services may go down overall. But at the same time, there's always going to be people who want to watch certain stuff, so they're going to use this or use that at certain times. Maybe there'll be a lot of signing up and canceling depending on when shows come out instead of just holding the subscription for ever. But yeah, that's something scary that Netflix really brought into the whole market is being able to cut off the passwords for sharing them in different households. And if you were sharing them, you're going to get charged, I believe it was like $8 extra a month if you were doing that. And Netflix is already expensive. Like everybody knows it's so expensive. It's hard to keep up with, but that's just the world that we kind of live in right now. But recently, Netflix came out saying stuff about a gaming controller I saw, and then I also saw something on the regards of them getting into gaming too. So I know a while back I used to talk about how Microsoft would in their gaming stuff, how good it's going, and they actually did get Treyarch or Activision, I believe. I believe they did end up buying Treyarch because a lot of the older Call of Duty games were became available for Xbox, and they brought the servers back online and things like that. So, um, yes, they did it. A lot of people did come back onto those servers, did start playing some of those older games and things like that, but I mean, that that's as far as it's about to go. At least right now, you can kind of tell the difference between the MW games right now. Like they're already announcing MW3 versus the next like Black Ops game or whatever game is going to come next. So I'm really curious of what Microsoft has planned for that because I haven't heard too much about it. Their game is supposed to come out this year or next year. That new Black Ops game is definitely supposed to be out very soon because nobody's playing the other ones like that too much. I mean, there are some people that still play it, but not as often as they probably should. So just just ranting about this whole nonsense going on between the gaming stuff, but Netflix actually wants to stream video games as well too. So they came out with a video game idea console or controller thing. I seen that about a few weeks ago, and then recently I seen a post about them wanting to finally get into it. I feel like this is kind of bad because one, Netflix is obviously very good on streaming movies and TV shows, and there's a lot of controversy that surrounds Netflix. It's not where it could be. Like Amazon Prime, I feel kind of has a little bit of edge based on. I mean, they're very comparable. Even HBO and or what they call it Max now. All of these places have a lot of potential in creating really good shows and content and stuff, but I feel like they haven't reached that threshold where it's continuous enough and you getting that kind of content all the time. Like The Last of Us, there isn't. How many HBO shows do you get like that? You get Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones even had some problems, but you have The Last of Us. All this other streaming stuff is coming about, and all these streaming platforms, they're fairly new too, and I just think Netflix would be jumping the gun to going to gaming when they still have a lot to figure out themselves. Like Apple just recently started getting into their gaming stuff. Apple's been around forever. More recently, they just now in that last WWDC 23. If you haven't seen that episode, go back and check that episode out. Talk about a lot of different stuff and break it down, create some snippets on some ideas and topics I have. But I'll definitely have it linked at the end of this episode about that whole hour long, or it was a little bit over an hour of my take on coverage of that event. But back then, Apple introduced how they're going to revolutionize gaming and with their products and stuff like that, because a lot of people just use regular PCs over just gaming on a Mac. They just want to make that get better. And it seems kind of like a good time for them. I wouldn't say it was bad for them, but Netflix here, you're known for TVs and movies. How are you going to get into video games per se? A lot of these video game companies and how gaming is as a whole kind of seems like they're struggling right now. Some games, mind you, there's a lot of fire games out right now. There's a lot of games that are doing good, but there's also a lot of games that are bad. I'm not going to come out and say which ones are which, but it's happening between the big consoles and things like that. These big names. There's a lot of good and bad that comes into gaming. There's a lot of companies that are very experienced in gaming and still can't figure it out. In my head, the first games that Netflix is going to release, if they create them themselves, is going to be doo doo. They're going to be trash games. I believe it. I put money on it. Netflix will create trash games at first. So what I'm thinking that Netflix is going to actually do, what a lot of other big companies do, is buy something that Microsoft did. Buy a gaming company out and have that company work under Netflix, and then that game will be able to be played through a Netflix subscription, I'm guessing. Some type of way you'll be able to play at all Netflix's games through a subscription for an extra subscription to play games. There will probably be a TV and movie subscription, and there will probably be a gaming subscription, and just probably be a bundle to have both of them for a lower price. Netflix is basically going to get a lot more expensive. Let's just go from there to starters. And That's what I feel like they're gonna do. They're gonna buy out a gaming company. You guys heard it here first. You're gonna have multiple subscriptions and things, kind of like how the the Disney Plus bundle works with ESPN and Hulu, but it'll be like Netflix for the movies and TV shows, Netflix for the gaming. So that's how I assume it's going to play out. Or they're gonna just skyrocket the prices again, what they have always been doing. And a lot of people were saying that they first initially skyrocketed the prices because they needed to help pay these actors and the studios and to be able to create these great shows and movies like Stranger Things does and stuff. But they're a global company that's watched everywhere. They're making a ton of money. Don't let them lie to you. They're making a ton of money. They're able to pay for these people and so on. But yeah, it's great. It's going great. It's going good. And just wonder, I just don't know if that will be like fully best thing that's going to be able to come out of Netflix. It's something that could have potential. They'll be like the first streaming service that really has gaming under control and under lock of their platform. But I just don't think streaming services are ready for that kind of responsibility to hold within themselves. I really don't think about it. I don't think it's a good chance of going into it. I believe a lot of people will subscribe to Netflix to just test out how the gaming stuff will go, but I think there'll be overwhelmed bad reviews and takes from there. Who knows? They might take years to even like fully implement this and like release a game or incorporate something in the game. Like at least Apple in their showcase, they showed a gaming company that they're working with in the game that is going to come out for their Macs and devices and stuff. Um, I've yet to see this from Netflix, but note this is very, very new news and things like that on this Accord. So this is very still a fresh concept that is going to be brought to life. And who knows where this is going to be taken because a lot of kids and a lot of even adults and guys or whatever, whoever you are, if you love video games, I'm sure you will all be skeptical about how this is because for the longest we've had like the big three of video games: PlayStation, Xbox slash Microsoft, and PC. But as far as devices, but PC is still in Microsoft, and then Nintendo. Those are the big three that we normally had, and then we have these other companies trying to get into it. No, it could be a smart move, but you're gonna have to show something really good quality to keep up with these other places. Like I've said before in past gaming podcast things, excuse me, where I talked about the whole PlayStation makes better story games and things, and multiplayer games are gonna become a plus soon, I guess, for PlayStation, and we'll see. But I really like how Microsoft handles, especially they do it way better on the PC for multiplayer style games and stuff like that. But I mean, you're gonna have to do a lot to really like keep up with these other places. Like even Nintendo, they have great story games. You play multiplayer in them. They have a lot of good, fun family kind of games. Very like very these companies are very good at what they do, and I don't think Netflix is ready or prepared for what these other companies can do, and I don't think they can keep up with PlayStation, Microsoft, and Nintendo and all of them because they have a leap year of experience over this streaming platform and all these other streaming platforms. I feel like the other streaming platforms, I feel like they couldn't move into gaming because they're specific for certain TV channels and stuff. Maybe Disney can get into it by making certain like Disney games or whatever, but what do you guys think? I really think Disney could pull off some games in that chord for their streaming platform, but Netflix is kind of like a standalone kind of thing. Like their streaming service doesn't really cater to a certain channel or anything like that. So I can see why they feel more confident in being one of the first to do this, but I just don't think it's going to be something that's great. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. Don't forget to leave your hot takes in the comment section everything about tech and stuff. We'll review it and go about it. I want to say it again and again until we start getting them. And then also don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Every Thursday we're out here. We're gonna post a new episode every Thursday. I'm gonna try to get these clips out. I've been saying it. There's just a lot to catch up on, but at this point, you just gotta have to do it, and that's something that I'm learning as well too. Just do what you gotta do and get the stuff out, and I'm gonna get the stuff out for you guys instead of holding on to all this extra stuff that you guys could have missed from an episode and stuff from the past. So tune in and see you guys next week. Deuce. Peace.